What's up everybody, see you again on the Fake MMA News. Again, we will inform you the latest news from the MMF special UFC. And just listen.
Chimaev, unbothered by Topuria's jabs at Makhachev, he's just creating hype. Amid the intensifying chaos surrounding the UFC's lightweight and welterweight divisions, Ilia Topuria once again finds himself in the spotlight, not only for his upcoming title shot against Charles Oliveira at UFC 317, but also for his relentless verbal attacks on former lightweight champion Islam Makhachev, who recently moved up to welterweight. Interestingly, Khamzat Chimaev, Topuria's longtime acquaintance and fellow Brave CF alumnus, remains unfazed by the heat. In a recent interview with Adam Zubairev, Chimaev spoke fondly of his early connection with Topuria, dating back to their days fighting under the Brave Combat Federation banner. He was already a top fighter back in Brave FC. Just like me, we both fought there. He was a hard worker, and he achieved everything that can be achieved in this sport, Chimaev said. Is Ilia Topuria being too bold in taking shots at Islam Makhachev? Or is this the kind of champion's mentality that MMA needs? And where does Chimaev really stand? Neutral or quietly picking a side? Let's hear your take. Topuria is no stranger to controversy. After UFC President Dana White announced that he would face Charles Oliveira for the vacant lightweight belt, Topuria wasted no time in throwing shade, saying, "It's unfortunate that Makhachev ran away." This wasn't his first dig either. Months ago, the outspoken Georgian Spaniard dismissed Dagestani wrestling as overrated, stirring even more tension with Makhachev's fanbase. Chimaev, however, isn't reading too much into it. In fact, he believes that such remarks are part of the game and necessary for keeping MMA exciting. If fighters were quiet, there would be no interest in MMA. In real life, I've met him. We've spent time together, eaten together. He's a good, solid guy, Chimaev added, referring to Topuria. Despite being caught between two firebrands, Chimaev chooses to stay level-headed. Yet one thing is clear. Ilia Topuria doesn't seem finished with Islam Makhachev, even if the Dagestani star has left the lightweight division behind. He never really wanted it, Topuria claimed, accusing Makhachev of dodging challenges before his move up to welterweight. A bold statement from a fighter who clearly isn't done chasing down rivalries, no matter the division.
From unknown savage to the division's worst nightmare, the brutal, chaotic rise of Khamzat Chimaev. When Khamzat Chimaev first entered the octagon in July 2020, he was a complete unknown, just another name on the undercard. But what happened next made history. In just 10 days, Chimaev smashed John Phillips with a Darce choke submission at UFC Fight Night Qatar vs. IJ, and then brutalized Rhys McKee with a first-round TKO at UFC Fight Night Whitaker vs. Till. The MMA world was stunned. 2 fights, 2 finishes, 10 days apart. A terrifying new force was born. Then came Gerald Meerschaert. At UFC Fight Night Covington vs. Woodley, September 2020, the storyline was clear. Could someone finally test Chimaev? Instead, Chimaev ended it in 17 seconds with one devastating punch. Critics began whispering, "Is this guy even human?" But the fairy tales almost ended early. The COVID-19 pandemic hit Chimaev hard. He was hospitalized with lingering symptoms, coughing up blood, and even announced his retirement on Instagram in early 2021, saying, "I think I'm done." The world thought the Khamzat era was over before it even began. But inside, Boers was only getting angrier. He returned at UFC 267 against veteran Li Jingliang. In a chilling performance, Chimaev lifted the leech off his feet, talked to Dana White while carrying him, and then submitted him with a rear-naked choke, all without absorbing a single strike. The monster was back, and somehow even more terrifying. Next came a true war. At UFC 273, Chimaev faced Gilbert Burns, a top 3 welterweight, and for the first time, Khamzat bled. In a brutal back-and-forth firefight, Chimaev showed he had heart as well as savagery, winning by unanimous decision, but leaving the cage bloodied and humanized. Many said it was fight of the year, but it also sparked a question. Was Boers invincible after all? Then came the weight drama. Scheduled to headline UFC 279 against Nate Diaz, Chimaev missed weight by nearly 8 pounds, causing the entire event to be reshuffled at the last minute. Fans booed him, media questioned his professionalism, and Dana White was furious. But Chimaev didn't care. He bulldozed Kevin Holland in under 3 minutes with a Darce choke submission, never once looking in danger. Love him or hate him, you couldn't ignore him. The next target, Kamaru Usman. At UFC 294, Chimaev fought the former welterweight king on just 10 days' notice after Paulo Costa pulled out. Usman stepped up a weight class, but Chimaev's relentless grappling sealed a majority decision victory. Though questions lingered. Was Chimaev starting to slow down? Was he still the unstoppable juggernaut? And finally, the biggest statement yet. At UFC 308, Chimaev clashed with former middleweight champion Robert Whittaker. Many thought this would be his toughest challenge yet. Instead, Chimaev dominated Whittaker on the ground, sinking in a rear naked choke in the first round at 334, making it look easy against one of the best middleweights ever. From a silent fighter at Fight Island to a destroyer of legends, through illness, controversy, weight chaos, and wars inside the cage, Khamzat Chimaev now stands on the doorstep of UFC gold. And when he finally seizes it, one truth will remain. The rise of Boers was never clean, never perfect, but it was unstoppable.